He's made it his gimmick. It's part of his gimmick. It's the Cornette Russo thing, bro.
Gotcha.
That's Cornette's gimmick, and he'll take that to the grave, bro. You know, even though we've not crossed paths or anything for God knows how long. So no, I think it was a 1000% gimmick.
Let's go broing down memory lane. The Iron Sheik has passed away, unfortunately. So here's the thing. Well, let's talk about Iron Sheik as far as just overall thoughts as fans of the business. But one of the things that I thought was absolutely hilarious. Does anybody know the Iron Sheik's final tweet? Now, granted, I think he's nephews. He has a couple nephews who run his Twitter. But are you familiar with his final tweet before?
I'm not, but I hope it's F Hulk Hogan.
It was.
That's great.
That's precisely what it was, actually. So he just there's just an onslaught. I mean, he's created a running gimmick of using his Twitter to absolutely just demolish Hulk Hogan. Do you think, Vince, that Iron Sheik had like legit heat with Hogan throughout those years, or has he made it a running gimmick?
I don't, bro. I think he's made it. He's made it his gimmick. It's part of his gimmick. It's the Cornette Russo thing, bro.
Gotcha.
That's Cornette's gimmick, and he'll take that to the grave, bro. You know, even though we've not crossed paths or anything for God knows how long. So no, I think it was a 1000% gimmick, man.
In my Illuminati with the high level minds of professional wrestling, top secret text group that I'm in, they were sharing stories of Sheiky baby that were incredible, you know, from the perspective of the boys. And I don't think that Hulk Hogan quote heat was real, because I think he was one of the ultimate true workers and that committed to you know, portraying something for the fans as opposed to, you know, being it for real.
Yeah.
He crossed, like, he drew that line, and he stayed on it with his pointy ass boots and his big old clubs, and rode that into infamy.
Oh man, Iran number one, Russia number one, USA. It just, I mean,
ass too, man.
Yeah, man, and just you know, like a shooter. He was a shooter, man. He was an Olympian. So
did he break Hogan's leg?
He was asked to break Hogan's leg. He definitely was to basically introduce Hogan to the business. He was asked to break his leg.
Welcome to the business. Yeah, thanks to Dr. Chris' diagnosis, we know the leg heals just fine. So
yeah.
Put some dirt on it. Let the human body take over.
Yeah, indeed. It's at least it's supposed to mold. Granted, a able body, but if you have arthritis or if you're aging and things like that, stuff like that, can unfortunately cause some distraction to the healing body. But yeah, go ahead, East.
No, I'm just like working with this company on some sort of like pain relief thing, and I'm very excited to see where it goes. And then if it does go where I think it could go, I'm totally gonna have a pyramid scheme going on. We'll be talking about it all the time.
the FHH pyramid scheme, in honor of the Iron Sheik, Sheiky baby. But here's the thing, man. It doesn't make sense that I don't see how the Iron Sheik could have heat with Hulk Hogan legitimately, because if it wasn't for the Hulk Hogan, like Hulk Hogan and Sergeant Slaughter basically made Iron Sheik a Hall of Famer. I mean, like those two people, those, when you think of Iron Sheik, you think of Hulk Hogan and Sergeant Slaughter. Those were his two biggest feuds. Yes, he had he teamed up with Nikolai Volkov, beat the Dream Team, won the tag team championships. But at the same time, though, Hogan was the one who beat Sheik, but the feud leading into that, and the feud after, and just his ability to be so over in that time when America's going through that time in history, it was just so on point and so timely. Now, Vince, here's my question to you. Now, with the ability to allow art to imitate life in those particular situations, when you had Iron Sheik being this, Iranian, just this foreign, just machine, going against America at a time that was a sensitive time. You had Sergeant Slaughter being a sympathizer coming back during the Gulf War. You know what I mean? And you had those moments being such riveting television of real life things going on at the time. Why isn't something like the
They're pansies.
Why can't that be applied?
They're pansies, bro. You had the Hurt Business right smack in the middle of Black Lives Matter. Yeah. Are you kidding me? Because, bro, they're sissy Marys, bro. They're pansies. That's why, bro. They got no balls. It's that simple, bro. We were going through so many things. COVID, bro. They completely ignored COVID. Completely ignored it, bro. No ball.
I ignored it, and I still got a bunch of crazy people saying I'm spreading misinformation that turned out to be true, by the way. But go ahead.
Bro, think about the balls Sheik had doing. You know how many death threats this dude must have gotten, bro. Oh my God, bro. You know how many bottles were probably thrown at his head? Yeah. I mean, think about the balls to see something like that through, bro.
But that's the thing, like, that's the reason why I like old school wrestling so much, because those people, like old school heels, were mentally tough too. They weren't they weren't just acting a role.
Right.
They were mentally tough. And if they had that heel role, if you were kind of quasi mentally tough, like, it was on the job training. Like, you better hurry up and toughen up, because get ready to get your tires slashed, your windows broken, bottles thrown at you. You got to learn how to get tough really quick as a heel back then. Now it's just, you're just kind of filling a role, you know what I mean? And I think, like, in Sheik's days, I really appreciated the heels, because you drew more money. Like, it was a money drawing business based on the strength of your character. So you want to heal up as much.
Bro, I remember Jim Myers, George the Animal Steel, bro, telling me, like, when they played Shea Stadium, there was a big entrance to the ring. Like, they had to walk across the field. Mm-hmm. And I remember him telling me, bro, he used to get a police escort, and he was a heel at the time. Bro, he had so much heat. Like, the police didn't know, is this real? Is this part of the show? Because the heat was so real. So literally, when they were escorting him to the ring, they handled it like they were escorting the president of the United States, because they didn't know, is somebody going to take out a gun and shoot them? Bro, I don't think people understand what it was like back then, bro.
Yeah, absolutely, man. What do you think of Sheiky Baby East?
Oh, I mean, honestly, the first Iron Sheik match I saw was the Gimmick Battle Royal at WrestleMania 17.
That was what, 01?
Yeah. And, like, I couldn't believe he won, but it was just because he couldn't go over the top rope.
Yeah, that was legit the reason why he won the Battle Royal too. Because
watching back when you become a student of the game, and you know, watching the old school and the greats and how they would do things, like, just the in-betweens and the little things Sheik would do, and, like, he really embodied being despised, and that's what made the business so great. You know, the fact you can derive true and real emotion from people that are vested in the interest of you losing. Like, that's a power that is incredible if you think about it. It's something I think we sorely lack today.
Bro, it got, man, Chris, you know, obviously I'm older than you guys. Bro, I can remember when Sheik really came into relevance, and it was at Madison Square Garden when he beat Backlund.
Yeah.
And, bro, it was because Arnold Skolin threw in the towel. Bro, this is Madison Square Garden in New York City. You could have heard a pin drop. The people were in shock that Skolin threw the towel in, and now the Sheik was champion. And New York City, hook, line, and sinker, bro.
Yeah.
You could have heard a pin drop in that building.
There's very rare just shocker moments. You know, we got Brock beating Taker, you know, at Mania, ending the streak. That was a shocker moment. Sheik beating Hogan was to that proportion, you know, and back in the 80s, because people
Backlund.
What I say?
Hogan.
Oh yeah, Sheik beating Backlund. Yeah. Hogan beat Sheik. Sheik beating Backlund was that type of he had a type of effect, because if you think about it, Backlund, he was champ for what, 4 or 5 years at that time?
I think longer than that,
6
bro.
years?
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, it was a while, because I know Bruno had the belt for about 8, and I think Backlund had the belt for about 5 or 6. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, he was the guy, you know, before late 70s going into the early 80s. And for someone to get that heat yes, Sheik was a transitional champion, but he was the best type of transitional champion because he had so much heat as a heel.
Yeah.
And they were looking for that hero to come in, that real American hero. What perfect person to put Hogan over, to immediately put him to the top. Then the Iron Sheik. Just think about heels of these days, right? There's no one strong enough as a heel that if you're really trying to bring someone in, you know what I mean, particularly with WWE, AEW right now, there's not a lot of strong heels that if you just bring someone in from nowhere, basically, and you automatically hotshot him to that top level, there's not really anyone. I mean, you can say maybe Roman Reigns, but still he doesn't have that heat. He's not really hated like the Sheik was. So there's no one who has that, man. So you got to give it up for the Sheik, man, to really boost.
There's a lot of people that are quote good heels. The fans will say, "Oh, he's a good heel," but there's so very few great heels, because that makes a fan say, "I don't like him."
Exactly. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Backlund had the belt from 5 years. Yeah, he had it from 78 to 83. So almost 5, almost 6 years. Yeah. So kudos to Sheik, man. He's a legend.